Okay, everybody, it's time for me to talk about Bob Dylan and, well, the band accompanied by the band. And that is Planet Waves. 1974, January 17th of that year. Bob Dylan at this time was signed with David Geffen's record label, Asylum Records, which, of course, the Eagles were on, and Linda Ronstadt and all those folks. And Dylan took a little bit of a hiatus at that point to be on that label, and he also had his first live album, which was Before the Flood, that summer, and and at that point in time, it was almost about roughly around almost 7 years since Dylan hasn't been on tour since 1966, since the summer of that year, and of course Dylan did the Isle of Wight, but of course those live versions weren't released until the Self Portrait album, and of course, the whole thing has been bootlegged, of course, and it wasn't until another self-portrait where they, released the whole Isle of Wight. So it's been since then, and I think Dylan was a little bit tired of his fans. I feel like during this time or whatever, he was really rebelling against, the press and his fans. I felt like he was getting kind of, felt like he didn't like the whole big thing of like being this big artist. So I feel like he was a bit bothered by that. This album was recorded in L.A. and of course was recorded with the band. Dylan had not been performing with the band, or at least been together with them, I think since, I believe, the Isle of Wight. I believe that may have been the last time Dylan had ever collaborated with the band. It's been since then. It was recorded mostly in November of '73, the previous year. So he's been supported here by the band. Um, this album was actually supposed to be named Ceremonies of the Horsemen, based on, I think it was from a lyric from Love Minus Zero, I believe. And I really love the artwork. It really represents, it was actually, of course, drawn by Bob Dylan himself. Um, you can see the moon glow on the one of the guy's left sleeve there. So it represents something there. Peace too as well. You can tell from the other sleeve there it says Cast Iron Songs and Love Torch Ballads. So I feel like it's kind of a bit of a concept album. It's a couple of the songs definitely have a little bit of a theme going on the album. Um, so yeah, it was yeah. So they went over to L.A. to do the album, of course, and this was actually the first album, believe it or not, to hit number one for Bob Dylan. None of his other albums had ever hit number one other than Planet Waves. Um, so the production here is really good. I don't really necessarily, I don't really think the album isn't as strong. I feel like there's some great songs in here, but there are a couple that are a little on the weak side. The producer here is Rob Forboni, which of course later on produced for the Stones and produced for I think Alice Cooper, a bunch of other people. But yeah. So shortly after this, Bob Dylan released the live album. Now here, I'm not going to be talking about any of the live albums here. So because after this, I'm going to go into, of course, the Magnificent Blood on the tracks. So unfortunately, I'll have to do that maybe on another thing, whatever. Once I get through with all the albums from Bob Dylan. But yeah, I think this album is, with an exception of a couple songs, I'm not really digging, but there are some. I mean, on a night like this, the opening track here, what a great one! Really galloping, very kind of on the road kind of thing. It's a really nice toe tapper. You can tell that everyone on board here, Rick Danko, just what excellent drummers here, and Levon Helm, like with that beaten rhythm. It's a really excellent opener. Yeah. On a night like this, so glad you came around. Hold on to me so tight and heat up some coffee and grounds. On a night like this, I can't get any sleep. The air is so cold outside. What a nice line. Here Dylan he was just so like so homebound with his lyrics. He was so like what I mean. He was just living out in the country at the time, and he was just really enjoying himself here. Especially here in this recording. And I just love like just the excellent just country roots of this song and this production too. Just like really, what a good song. Of course, that harmonica is shining away. And I love this last verse. Let the four winds blow around this old cabin door. If I'm not too far off, I think we did this once before. There's more frost on the window glass with each new tender kiss, but it sure feels right on a night like this. I love that. Okay, then after that is another good one. I love this song. First heard it, I wasn't really liking it too much because it definitely has a little bit of that Stones and Grand Funk Railroad with that guitar. You know what I mean? It definitely had that phase shift kind of sound, which a lot of bands at the time in the 70s were using a lot. I think Lou Reed's band was doing that, Dick Wagner, those people, those folks were using that, and even the Edgar Winter Group, or I think even Ronnie Montrose, or was he bassist? Ronnie Montrose didn't play guitar, did he? Oh, anyways, it was a huge thing back in the, mid to maybe late 70s. But this one's Going, Going, Gone. What a great one. I'm going, I'm going, I'm gone. Wow. What a cool what a cool guitar send off, by Robbie Robertson. I'm closing the book on the pages and the text. I don't really care. What happens next? I'm just going, I'm going, I'm gone. Wow. It's a really excellent song. This for sure is my favorite. Going, going, gone. He's out of there. He's probably just like telling his people, like I said, this seems so foreshadowing of how he feels. Just you know. And after that is Tough Mama. What a cool gritty song. It reminds me a lot of like a Black Oak, Arkansas, maybe one of those like southern type rock bands, and even maybe like the Marshall Tucker band. What a cool groove. Really cool. Has a little bit of the Memphis, by Chuck Berry. That sequence, guitar chords. It's a really cool song. Tough Mama, meat shaking on your bones. I love that line. Dark lady, won't you move it on over and make some room? Starting at the ceiling and standing on the chair, big fires blazing, ashes in the air. What an excellent line, man. It's an excellent song, and that is another song with the face shifter galore. Okay, after that, then you get some slower type songs on here. Where Bob Dylan's on the piano, especially on side 2 where he does dirge. This is Hazel. This definitely has something within the theme of the album. And of course, Hazel with the dirty blonde hair. I love it. And the harmonica playing too as well. Just what an excellent, really good slow song to really, nice little palate cleanser from Tough Mama. But it is a fairly nice song. Not much to say about it. And then there's Something There Is About You. It's kind of a medium tempo type, swampy type rocker here. And the lyrics go, something there is about you that strikes a match in me. Is it the way your body moves, or is it the way your hair blows free? Or is it because you remind me of something that used to be, something that crossed over from another century? Yeah, really nice lyrics. My hand's on the saber and you've picked up the baton. Something there's about you that I can't quite put my finger on. Nice, lovely type ballad. well, not ballad, but it's kind of, up tempo. And then after that, of course, you get, the incredible staple of Bob's, of course, is Forever Young. Excellent opening acoustic. May You Stay Forever Young. This is definitely a theme, you know. I don't know if I want to maybe say it, but definitely has a little bit of a blonde on blonde, a little bit here on Forever Young. And I just really love what Dylan says here as as he goes on. May you grow up to be righteous. May you grow up to be true. May you always know the truth and see the light surrounding you. May you always be courageous, stand upright, and be strong. May you stay forever young. It is a beautiful song, definitely for sure. Forever Young. Um, so then you get side two, and you get a, and it opens with the fast version of Forever Young. And I don't know, they should have just maybe threw in Nobody Except You. I think that was one of the outtakes from this album, and I felt like that could have maybe been the replacement for the faster version. I mean, it is what it is, but it is, you know, it's just a fast tempo version of Forever Young. Okay, and then after that is Dirge. This is Bob here on the pianos with that bar room, really desperate, desolate sounding. you know, what an amazing song. This has to be one of my favorites from the album. I hate that foolish game we played and need that was expressed and the mercy that you showed to me, whoever would have guessed. And I just love who's also maybe accompanying on here as well. I believe it's Garth Brooks or not Garth Hudson and Richard Manuel that kind of accompany Dylan a little bit here. But man, when you throw the band in there, it just like it ups the sound of of the recording. It's just what a great song, man. I don't want to go too further into the song. I mean, I don't really know much, but I feel like maybe Dylan's a little bit, I can see the struggles of what he's going through there. Okay, after that is You Angel You, kind of another up tempo rock, kind of not rocker, but it's kind of very mid tempo, Um, I can't sleep at night for trying. Never did feel this way before. I get up at night and walk the floor. If this is love, then Guy Moore. It's okay. It's not one of my favorites, I think. And then the last two, Never Say Goodbye. What a really good song too, as well. With with Robbie Robertson. This definitely has. I think definitely You Angel just definitely has that pure, just face shifted sound. And then Never Say Goodbye. Another. I feel like a song definitely the band would have fit on maybe on one of their mid albums, like maybe like. I felt like this may have been kind of after Cahoots, but yeah, definitely one of their maybe later to mid albums. Yeah, you're beautiful beyond words. You're beautiful to me. You can make me cry. Never say goodbye. And then the last song to end the album is Wedding Song. It's a really nice, beautiful ender. Great way for Dylan to end the album. And I love this very last verse here. You turn the tide on me each day and teach my eyes to see. Just being next to you is a natural thing for me, and I could never let you go, no matter what goes on, because I love you more than ever now. The past is gone. What a beautiful song. Great way to end the album. So I do like Planet Waves. It's a very enjoyable album with a couple of songs I'm not really too big on. So quite an interesting period for Dylan here in that 74 period. So yeah, the next album, of course, is the great, magnificent Blood on the Tracks. I can't wait to cover that. I know I've been kind of separating within weeks here, gapping, but definitely be worth every single minute when I do Blood on the Tracks. But anyways, Planet Waves, it's a really good album with a couple of songs I'm not really too big on. Okay, folks, bye bye.